Hello everybody. Today's message is all about setting intention. Now, this is obviously something that is all in the mind and can take you very, very far. But sometimes we don't always realize the power of that intention. We just kind of like press go, right? We just feel like we have to do the things, or the opposite. We just don't do them and we try to figure out why they're not getting done. So setting intention is all about kind of identifying goals. So for some people, it's just kind of listing them out in your mind. Some people do like a vision board where they write out some of the goals, whether it's for a different eating style, different exercise, deliverables, whether it's 3 times a week, every day, once a week, whatever it is. And setting those kind of realistic goals is the first step. And you could do it in any sort of construct, whether it's written in your mind, putting it through something digital like a Google Doc where you kind of just, an ideas parking lot. And then after you take that first step of setting those goals, that's, the first step in setting intention, you have to, kind of set up the necessary next steps to stay focused. And how do we stay focused? You kind of compile actionable steps to get to where you need to go. So if your goal number 1 is to eat a little bit healthier, well, the actionable steps would be to insert more greens into your everyday consumption, or to shift your simple carbs to complex carbs. Maybe instead of doing white rice, maybe then you'll shift to doing brown rice. Or instead of having white oily potatoes like French fries, maybe a baked sweet potato or a baked regular potato with some light extra virgin olive oil instead of margarine. Actionable goals can be small and large. They could be the details around the actual goal, and it makes it actionable because you have the steps to take to actually do it. Everything's a concept until you bring it to life. The next step after, setting the goals and creating and compiling actionable steps is to, eliminate that adverse thinking or shift gears when you feel like you're hitting a roadblock or an obstacle. And some of those things would be creating mantras or, doing some slow breathing and reminding yourself why you have to do what you have to do. A part of setting intention is also being ready to combat any negative thinking, staying true to your beliefs. I want to eat healthier. I'm going to start eating more greens. Oh, they don't taste good. I don't care. I'm going to do it anyways. And, remap or redefine my taste buds and my flavor preferences. So, part of the process is being prepared to hit different challenges along the way. The next step is to be present, to honor any sort of negative thinking, to say, well, that makes sense. I'm not used to this. And to be gentle with yourself. Extreme thinking, these crash diets where you eliminate all these things and have this goal, but, it has to be done by a set amount of time. And if you don't do it, you're a failure. That's black and white thinking. Setting intention and creating healthy relationships with food, exercise, and any other goals you establish for yourself is about being gentle and being kind to yourself, and realize that it's a process, that you're going to hit, a pitfall, but then you're going to climb back up. That all because you don't do something, it doesn't automatically mean that you have failed. So, being present and being gentle is part of that intention setting process. Reinforcing intention when you need it, buddying up, creating some sort of positive messaging to yourself. I personally, and I've said this before in many videos, I'll put up Post-its around my house that remind me of where I'm supposed to go. Excuse me. To, work with another person, whether it's a nutritionist or a friend or a family member, to remind me, why I set that intention. If your intention and that goal that you set, just going back to the example I gave of healthier eating, was so that you live a longer life because your doctor said to you that your cholesterol is high and that you're at a risk for heart disease, anything that, causes that set of incentive, that is the impetus for change, and you set that intention around it, well, reinforcing that intention means reminding yourself why you had to do that it's a lifelong journey. It's a journey, not a destination. I love these people who think like there's a magic bullet that you have to, lose 10 pounds by that special occasion. And then the minute the special occasion is over, you felt really good. You worked really hard to reach that goal. And then they're like, all right, go back to eating whatever I want. Why can't we just be gentle? Why can't we be at a place in our lives where we're balanced, where we're not all or nothing? I know it's a culture thing. And I know for many of us, we have such a regimented lifestyle. We have so many rules. So sometimes when it comes to eating and exercise, we just say, never mind, it's more discipline. I can't manage it. So reinforcing it is important, and submitting yourself to that belief and saying, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this to take my power back, which is a topic that we'll also talk about, is that empowering yourself to know that it's all up to you and that you don't fall victim to the I can'ts is a very empowering practice. And setting intention is the first step of getting to that place of personal empowerment. Prioritizing your goals. Your friends are all going out to dinner. Well, instead of saying no because you're afraid of making a bad choice, in advance, set your intention. Go on the website of the restaurant, look at the menu. Say, I'm going to have a crazy awesome appetizer, but I'm going to be really conscious about my eating and make healthy choices at the dinner. Or vice versa, I'm going to be crazy about my meal choice and I just won't do an appetizer. Or I have a sweet tooth. I'm going to have a nice salad that I'm going to eat slowly and enjoy the company over the consumption. And then I'm going to have a crazy dessert. And I say crazy because embrace the crazy. Embrace, what you're going to do, and prioritize instead of all or nothing. Setting intention manifests in everything we do. If we just impulsively do, and I'm a victim of this, I sometimes will just act. And then I'll stick my foot in my mouth, or I'll make a bad choice, and I, kind of badger myself after, and I, ruminate, and I'm mad at myself. But if you set intention, say, these are the actions I'm going to take before I do X, Y, Z, you feel more in control. You feel empowered, and you don't have that guilt, that regret, or that self-punishment. That negative self-talk comes from a place of not loving who you are and your decisions. So setting intention creates that self-love. And I know it sounds fluffy, and I know it might not be for you. Could you imagine waking up in the morning and liking yourself all of the time? Now, I know a lot of us do, and that's incredible. And sometimes it's fabricated. And sometimes it's, some days yes, some days no. But if we keep making efforts and setting that intention to build that self-love and that pride of our decisions is really great. And embracing change is part of setting intention. We may not be 20 anymore. And if you are, cool. And I know when I was 20, I was able to eat whatever I wanted. I was able to exercise once and still get that energy boost. But as I get older and I'm well into my 40s, I realize that I have changed. My lifestyle has changed. My outcome of my choices changes. The choices I make and how it affects others change. Instead of fighting it and running away from it and being mad at ourselves or mad at the situation, embrace that change. And setting intention is that 6-step process. And I'll repeat it one last time. I'm going to read it off my paper because I really wanted to set intention and sharing my intentions. And that's identify your goals, to stay focused, to compile actionable steps, to shift adverse thinking and stay true to your beliefs, to be present at any step along the way, to reinforce your intention when you lose your footing, to submit to your beliefs and stay strong and grounded, to prioritize and not make it all or nothing, and to embrace change on your journey towards setting intention one step at a time. I hope this was helpful.